Hello, Tecumseh, you outstanding provider of various specialty chocolates and cheeses. Welcome to the Tecumseh Bicentennial Podcast. I'll be your host, Benjamin J Nichols, but you can call me Thing One. Today, we'll be talking to Tecumseh graduate and local barista, Rocky Rhoades. We will reveal the answer to two truths and a lie from yesterday's episode with Deb Burton of Burton Agency. And Robert Elliott of Clan Elliott will share a bit about the naming of Tecumseh. You know, I feel like my Scottish accent is getting better. If you have frequented the Starbucks in the Bushes Plaza or Basil Boys with any form of even semi-regularity over the last few years, there is a good chance that you've encountered a young lady with crazy curly hair, a giant smile, and a fantastic personality. Her name is Rocky Rhoades, and she is my interview for today. Our conversation was fast-paced, a bit frenetic, and had what could be considered an alarming left turn into cannibalism. Names were dropped, some of which you may recognize. Artists were invited to draw pictures, and entrepreneurs were challenged to open an arcade. We covered a lot of topics within a short time, sometimes within the same sentence. To my knowledge, no one was harmed in the recording of this episode, so buckle up, Tecumseh, and let us dive into today's interview.
Hi, I'm Rocky Rhoades, or like Hannah, but like Rocky is how anybody would know me. I used to go to Basil Boys a lot too, so some people might know me from there, so that's kind of neat.
That is neat, I agree. Rocky Rhoades, what is something about you that is not a secret, but most people probably don't know?
I was born in Germany. I don't hide it very well. I talk about it with my coworkers every once in a while, but I lived there for 10 years. I've been in the U.S. for 10 years at this point. I don't have an accent whatsoever. I came to the Midwest and immediately it killed any accent I had. It was just, I became a Midwesterner alarmingly quickly.
Do you speak
Mein Deutsch ist
German?
wirklich schlecht, aber yeah, I can just pull that out randomly and it's so much fun because
It makes me so happy. It makes me so happy.
I don't change tones. I don't know. Some people change tones whenever they switch languages, and I don't. It doesn't make sense to me. It's not even like a dialect thing. People just make their voice deeper for a different language. No, it's just continuous.
Sure. Okay, what else? Because you said many, so now I'm just going to
I was born once, and I went online, and I'm an ordained minister because I saw it was a thing you could do. And I have like paperwork and everything for it. It's just like the Church of Life online. And I was just bored. I want to see if I can do it. And I did it. And now I have the certificate. I have a friend who's like, as soon as she figures out her relationship, she's like, I'm going to hit you up.
Outstanding.
It's just a fun little fact.
That is a fun fact. I agree. Rocky, what hobbies do you have?
I like starting random projects. I consider that a hobby at this point. Starting random hobbies. I crochet every once in a while. Let's say jack of all trades, master of none. That is something I kind of accidentally live by.
That's all right.
But a master of one isn't very... I can't remember the end of it.
Jack of all trades, master of none, but still better than a master of one.
It makes sense.
That's what it is.
I picked up a cake decorating class with my mom once just because we were looking for random stuff to do. We're doing a motorcycle class soon. I have like an imaginary list that I'm checking off, and I don't know the list until it's done. A weird combination of things.
Okay, motorcycle class is coming up. Cake decorating, you already did with mom. You crochet. All right, what else you got?
I'm actually, I do alterations for people sometimes. I worked in Toledo as an alteration specialist for a bit. I collect jobs, weirdly. That sounds awful. But I lived in Ann Arbor for a little bit, and I literally just like hopped around to different things because I was there, and why not? I was a trivia host too. People paid me to go to random bars just to talk.
That's all right.
Professional yapper, essentially.
Rocky, if you could have any superpower,
I'd have to say teleportation. I waste so much time in my car. I like playing music and stuff, and it's fun, but I like going places. I like seeing things, and I do believe that a road trip is a lot of fun. But sometimes it would just kind of be nice to like, because I have an uncle who lives in New Orleans and like around there, and I got really into gumbo. I cannot have gumbo up here. It tastes different. And so every once in a while, I'll just start craving it randomly. And it's just so mean. It's like, I want it. I can't have it. You can't exactly mail that up here.
No. So that should be one of your hobbies then, probably. Learn how to make gumbo the way you want it.
I have tried making it before. It came out really like watery somehow. Okay. I mean, it tasted good. I wasn't that mad, but like it didn't taste right.
Okay. Do you do the roux on a grill?
I tried so hard.
Did you?
In the end, it didn't even matter. Yeah. Anyway, I listened to that song on the way over here, actually. It just popped up randomly on my playlist. I might try again and just like text my uncle and beg him to ask anybody he knows for a recipe. And be like, can I just steal yours, please? My dad lives in North Carolina right now, and there's this southern grocery store called Publix, and I cannot explain it to you, but my entire family is obsessed with their sandwiches. It's just like a grocery store that has a deli that sells sandwiches, but every single...
Is it like an independent?
Publix
or is
is
it
part of a wider chain in the South. The deli is just part of Publix. It's a random grocery store, and for some reason, all my family members were like, yeah, this is it. This is the store that we like our sandwiches from.
Teleportation be pretty solid with New Orleans, on the one hand, North Carolina, and then, you can go and get your snacks. Get your sandwich, get your gumbo, have yourself a mighty tasty dinner.
I could also, go to Germany again. Be like, hey guys, it's been a while.
Do you still have family in Germany?
Have any. Okay, so we moved over because, my dad was an IT specialist guy, and this was the early 2000s, so that meant something. I'm sorry. That was so mean.
So did you grow up bilingual then? You spoke both German and...
Though ironically, neither of my parents were very good at German at first, because neither of them had learned the language before they moved there, which is a terrible, terrible idea. My older brother would sometimes swear in German, so our parents wouldn't catch him, and it took them the longest time to realize what he was saying, and they were just like, if you can't say it in English, you can't say it in German. It was the funniest thing around the house. My mom grew up bilingual as well, because my mom grew up speaking Spanish and English. And so she did not teach any of us anything. So it feels like we were the wrong bilingual, because we'll spend some time with our mom's side of the family, and they'll just start speaking Spanish to each other, and we're just kind of like, it's a cool guy.
Just start speaking German to each other and really throw them for a loop.
I would say.
Sounds like.
Yesterday, we talked with Deb Burton of the Burton Agency, and we played Two Truths and a Lie. The options were, number 1, Burton Agency provides all kinds of insurance, from life to death to health to umbrella to etc. ad infinitum. Number 2 was Burton Agency is owned and operated by a woman, who is also the only employee. And number 3, the Burton Agency, sorry, there is no definite article. Burton Agency plays host to a pair of canine companions who accompany Deb to work on the daily. Now, I was there for, an hour, and I did not see any dogs. So my guess was that Deb does not, in fact, have 2 dogs with her at work.
Yeah, I only have one. He's underneath my desk right now. Where he's supposed to be over here, but he's always
Two truths and a lie.
Teleportation being the desired superpower, what superpower did you get stuck with?
This is going to sound weird, but as much as I like talking to people, I'm actually more introvert. It takes a lot of energy out of me to talk to people. So I'm going to say... I don't want to say empathy, because that's not really a superpower. I like connecting with people, except it exhausts me, and at the end of the day, I just kind of sit in my room. I'm like, nobody talk to me for the next couple hours. So I'm going to say people.
I like that. That's a good superpower. I think it's valid.
It's fun. I enjoy it, and I enjoy people, but I am exhausted at the end of the day after yapping. I like people too much to stop, though. It's the unfortunate bit.
That's all right. Tell me a story that you plan on telling your grandkids.
I'm probably going to tell them about the pandemic, actually. What it was like generally, because I feel like a lot of people don't talk about it anymore. I'll just start randomly asking people about, if you had to describe your quarantine in 3 words, what would it be? And now I'm going to ask you that. If you had to describe your quarantine in 3 words, what would it be?
3 words. I don't know if I can do anything in 3 words.
That's fair.
Let's see. Yeah, that's tough. Really, really long.
That's 3 words.
It wasn't so bad. Not so bad. How's that? I hear other people's stories and the things they dealt with, whether they had COVID and it went bad. I don't hear those directly. Those usually you hear secondhand, but then things that people had to do without, things that scared them and whatnot. And there was that sense of you're not sure how this is going to go, which is unsettling at least. But we were blessed to really not be terribly impacted as a household. Neither my wife nor I lost our jobs. So I think not so bad, really, all things considered for me. I don't have anything to complain about.
Fair enough. And if anything, more family time. So my brother tried to go to, like, I'm talking about him a lot. His name's Christian. You probably know him as the pizza delivery driver for Marco's. Shout out. No, he tried going to college, and then he ended up getting COVID, so he had to come back, and he was just kind of locked in our mom's room. We had this tray outside his door, and we would just leave him like food and offerings. To the point he kind of okay, so it was scary, but also it's kind of funny remembering back when we just hear him shouting through the wall for like a sandwich or something, and we'd be like, oh my gosh, wait, what is the goblin want now? And love him. He's perfectly fine now. I have a lot of siblings. There's my older sister. There's my brother-in-law, since I'm going to count in-laws here because they're around so much. To be fair, they have 2 kids. He's just part of the group. I have my older brother, and then I have 2 younger brothers as well. And my older brother's dating someone. Her name's Jen. Love her. Shout out part 2. We could never be lonely because there was literally someone whose door I could knock down, like, right by me. And then my younger brother, Ryan, we say we're twins all the time just because we were born that close together, and he stole my face. Fun fact, he could open up my phone with his face for the longest time. So we just started saying we're twins, and I could literally just go like, hey, want to make like a sandwich or something?
I feel like sandwiches is becoming a theme.
I don't know why.
Are you hungry?
I guess.
A little peckish?
I didn't think about it.
I should have had a sandwich on hand.
Oh my gosh.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I'll try to do better.
I like BLTs for next time.
Okay, fair enough. Rocky, what inspires you?
I would say my first thought was to immediately say sandwiches. It's not sandwiches. I would say people. They're weird and complex, but I like people. I think that's why my boss calls me a personality hire, now that I think about it. She means it lovingly, we're pretty sure.
I think that sounds kind of loving. I mean, that's not a bad thing on any level.
Oh my gosh, I can do a shout out part 3. Okay, go Allie.
For those of you at home, she totally just did the hashtag with her fingers. I like it.
It's so much fun.
Okay.
No, but she calls me a personality hire sometimes, and I think it's just because I like people for the most part, except when I'm tired. I get very cranky when I'm tired. I don't know what it is. I don't think anybody knows what it is.
Well, I think most people get a little cranky when they're tired. What do you passionately care about? What matters to you? I
would say my family, honestly. We've just all been through a lot. I have an apartment in Adrian, but still I spent like half the time at home with my mom and like brothers because my sister lives in Toledo. They kind of just raised us with the people you surround yourself with is important, and that just happened to be my family. Shoot, I feel like people is also a consistent... People and sandwiches, I think.
People sandwiches.
People sandwiches. That doesn't sound particularly tasty, but, you know.
No, but it certainly sounds interesting.
Right. Would the people be the bread? I'm going to think too hard on this.
Yeah, probably.
I guess.
Soylent Green? I don't know.
Are they, like, high-fiving and, like, a double high-five and there's, like, sandwich stuff between them? Is that... I'm going to call that the people.
I would think the people would be the filler.
I guess.
I'm leaning more cannibalistic.
Okay, that's fair.
Long pig.
How cannibalistic are you getting, though? Because if they're the bread, you just have more people to eat. It's like a hamburger, but, like, the meat's on top. And, like, at first...
Yeah, meat, instead of getting rid of that stupid bread.
Yeah, who needs bread? I love bread, actually.
Bread's good.
Yeah. And spaghetti.
Spaghetti is
carbs,
also good.
Actually, I think it's just carbs. I love carbs.
Who doesn't?
I don't...
Have you ever tried any of the carb-free stuff?
No, never.
Don't.
Can't.
Don't, because it's offensive.
Tastes funky.
It hurts to eat.
I'm sorry for my gluten-free people out there.
I am not sorry. Rocky's a better person than me. Like, no, get that away from me. Oh, it's horrible. And I've tried some, because my family will try some for health reasons.
Sometimes it's just like an interesting, like, even if just to say you tried it and you don't like it.
Yeah, sure.
No, it's too good.
Yeah,
I can't
agree.
Not.
First thing that comes to mind, what do you think of when I say Tecumseh?
Honestly, the sign going into Tecumseh, I don't know why.
That's all right. Well, probably because the name's on it.
Do you know that wooden statue outside the middle school?
Yeah.
Like, when I first moved here, that was like a full statue. was like a full guy, and they just kind of cut him off at his knees because of like termites or something. And I can't. It's a weird thing. People are gonna have to explain to people in the future, like, no, that used to be like he was a full dude.
we put some of the tree back because we felt bad.
Labeled and everything, but like, to be honest, I'm surprised nobody's trying to recarve the bottom and maybe just like sticking it together, just because it's like a stump.
He's growing out of the tree though, which maybe that's
nature.
One with nature, exactly. Which that would fit, because Musgrove Evans, the founder of Tecumseh, one of the things he said about Chief Tecumseh, or Tecumseh, depending on how you pronounce it.
Okay, so it's supposed to be Tecumseh, but anybody who lives here pronounces it wrong, and that's right.
Is that he was nature's Indian. Because someone said that he was Britain's Indian because he fought on the side of the British, and Musgrove said, no, he fought for his people. He's nature's Indian.
There was an interesting exchange concerning the naming of Tecumseh, and the following comes from the Tecumseh Historical Museum's website. I'm going to read the full quote. Just a heads up that there may be an offensive term to some people, but it is a quote. I'm going to quote the quote, and I trust that you're going to be okay. Here we go. Quote, Dr. Michael Patterson, who was one of the first educated doctors of Lenawee County, told a story many years ago about how the village of Tecumseh acquired its name. It was during the building of the company house. A group of early settlers were sitting under a tree having lunch. After several names had already been discarded, Musgrove Evans suggested the name Tecumseh. One of the party objected, stating that Tecumseh had fought on the side of the British and was, therefore, a British Indian. Evans stated that he was mistaken and that Tecumseh fought for himself and his people and was nature's Indian. Austin Wing, another earlier settler and financier, agreed, saying, "That is a fact, and one of nature's noblest specimens of a red man," unquote. Speaking of the name Tecumseh and this exchange between Musgrove Evans and an unknown settler, who for the moment I'm going to refer to as Milton Plot Fodder, Bob Elliott has a bit more light to shed on the subject.
Musgrove Evans and some of the founding guys that came to town here got with Austin Wing, who actually helped finance Tecumseh, and really Musgrove actually came here to be a surveyor, and Austin Wing said, why don't you start a settlement, after so many places were opening up, and this was a good place not far from Monroe, and so when they got together, they trying to come up with names, and someone suggested, it may have been Evans, suggested Tecumseh. And Tecumseh, being a Shawnee leader in the day that actually fought against Americans in the War of 1812, he wasn't real happy with the Greenfield Treaty in the day that ceded so much of the Indian lands, and Musgrove apparently said that, he was a noble man. He fought for his people and tried to unite the tribes, the Potawatomi, the Shawnee, all the different tribes, and keep their lands. And unfortunately, the Battle of Tecumseh, he was killed.
Want to know something that totally freaked me out when I moved here?
I do want to know it.
Actually, okay, so Germany is really close to India. So I came here, and still in textbooks still refer to Native Americans and stuff as Indians, and it confused me so bad. I'm like, those guys are over there. I don't know what you're talking about. Who are we talking about? What is this? I'm like, it freaked me out. It took me a solid couple of months to figure out what was happening, because I was just that's an actual.
That's an actual people.
Yeah, that's
there's people who are from India who are Indians.
Yeah, and then I'm just like, what's happening? Where are we at on this weird chain?
It is a weird chain. I agree.
That's just okay. That's just my silly little fun fact. I was a very confused child.
I like it. Mm-hmm. I'm a very confused adult, so I get it.
It stays consistent. I think that's everybody. I think everybody's just varying levels of confused, and then they choose things to specialize in, and then I guess that's why communities are important, I would say, because people focusing on one thing and other people can focus on other stuff, and then you get a whole functioning ecosystem. Wow.
Shore up each other's weaknesses.
Hooray.
Learning with Rocky. All right, finish this sentence. I remember when.
The My Chemical Romance song just came to mind. I remember. Anyways. No,
you want to sing it?
No, I'm not. I'm not a singer.
Okay.
That's for Jack.
Okay.
Shout out part forward. I could not do it.
We're just name dropping left and right here. I love
It's
it.
like everybody's getting credit while I'm here.
It's good.
Oh my gosh. No, I remember when Laura worked at Basil Boys. Shout out Part 5. I'm losing track. So fun fact, her nephews are my cousins because her sister married my uncle. I secretly am part of all the coffee shops in town. I think that's what you need to take away from this. But yeah, that's how I met her, really, because we were just kind of there like, hey, a person I'm not related to but also sort of related to. That's a weird thing to think about during the sentence of I remember.
That's all right. No, it's fine. There's no wrong answers.
My dad does believe in wrong answers, actually. Yeah, he taught a little bit. And he said that his favorite thing was to tell people that there are wrong answers, but there is also Google, so you don't have to ask the wrong questions either.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Weird guy.
That's all right.
Shout out, Dad.
Shout out, Dad. What is that, number 6?
Yep.
Do you have any memories involving a Tecumseh business that you can share with us?
I was with Starbucks when they opened. Actually, fun fact, 3 years ago, I was in high school. I was not working in high school. I was working in, you know what? I think that became a very...
You were working while you were in high school?
Thank you. I don't know why that got so convoluted.
That's all right.
Anyways, this was part of like the pandemic where people were doing Zoom classes and you could go in person or you could do Zoom. And for this specific class, I just happened to have been doing it on Zoom. So I did it on Zoom that day, and a friend told me about a job fair at Bush's. I could check that out. So during my English class, I did an interview for that Starbucks. I ended up getting the job, so it all worked out. And I'm back there now, obviously, after having left for a bit. It was a very fun time because I know that's not like a Tecumseh business, but like...
I mean, it is because it's the one that's here in Tecumseh you're talking about, so...
I guess that counts.
It does. I think so. Because it's all about the people. Mm-hmm. And that's the thing. That's what the whole podcast is about, is the people. Yeah. So
Pandora was also there when it opened. Fun fact. Not a whole lot of the original staff is still there. I came back. Pandora has been there since the start, and Allie has been there since the start. Oh my gosh, I said Pandora. That's like shout out number 7. She does hair, by the way.
she does. And she did an interview.
Oh my gosh, really?
So she's on the podcast, yep.
Nice. Go watch her podcast. She's cool.
There's not a whole lot of watching involved.
You know, I
Mostly
think
audio.
people are probably doing something while listening to the podcast.
Yeah.
So we're going to say drawing. Whoever is doing this and is drawing right now, I see you. I'm watching you.
I like it. Draw a picture for Rocky and then take it to Starbucks.
Please do, actually. I will hang it up. It will go on a wall. I will find a place for it. They will have to fight me.
Outstanding. And then tell all of your friends so they can go and admire your artwork hanging up at Starbucks. Mm-hmm. That's a good idea.
Hooray.
Do you have any memories involving a Tecumseh park?
I'd say the pit, as everybody else does, because I can see in your face that's a common answer. There were like a couple places to sled growing up, but like nothing as close as the pit. And so we'd go and like, I tried snowboarding there once. Did not go well.
How did it go?
I tumbled down the hill. Whole lot of fun, actually. And there's like this other, okay, so there's the Boy Scouts here, and my young brother Ryan's in Boy Scouts. He doesn't count as a shout out. I already talked about him. That is the one that is the twin. So a bunch of his like scout mates came over, and like we had to build a boat out of cardboard, and I got to help because it was our garage. I don't think they won. I remember they did well. They did a little loop in the pit, like where that water is, and everybody got soaked. I think some people like tumbled over within the first 5 minutes.
I feel like cardboard is a pretty rough material to use to create a boat. What hopes do you have for the future of the community of Tecumseh?
I would like to see more community events, more people go to those. I know it's fairly active for the size of the community we have. It's definitely not bad, but just more people drawn in, I guess. And maybe a little bit more to do other than coffee shops and vintage stores, though I do love those. I literally just went shopping with a friend throughout the town recently, but more businesses coming in, I guess, I would say. Okay. I feel like we're pretty consistent on what the Midwest has available, but I would also maybe like an arcade or something to do a little bit.
All right. Well, there you go, entrepreneurs. Set up an arcade. You'll have one faithful customer at least.
Hooray.
That's a good idea. All right. What advice or message do you have for the people of Tecumseh 100 years from now when they're in their flying cars celebrating their tricentennial?
Be nice to people. Talk to strangers. Everybody has their own internal lives. You might find it interesting. This is going to sound so insanely cheesy, but a lot of people spend a lot of time on their phones or not really talking to a whole lot of people. There is a whole loneliness epidemic. I put that in like finger quotations. It's important to talk to people, and it's important to establish relationships, especially since that's just the people that's around to depend on. So I would say be nice to people. That's all I got.
That's good.
Yeah.
And I think that's valid, and I think it's important. We do need to be good to people, nice to people, kind to people.
Right.
People are people.
People are people.
And they're crunchy.
Unless they're in sandwiches.
And on that note, that's going to do it for today's episode. I hope you had a good time. Let us know. Tell us in the comments, what is your favorite part of this podcast? What things would you like to hear more of? What things would you like to hear less of? And share. Remember that sharing is caring, and if you want to show somebody that you really love them, share this amazing podcast with them. Make sure you come back tomorrow when we talk with Eric Cordy, saxophonist extraordinaire and, sometimes suspected felon. That's probably not true. Okay,